Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shayna, and welcome to Kaiyuni Kreations. And thank you for joining me for another series in our Tags from Scraps, the projects that we're doing. For those of you who subscribed since the last video, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. This is what helps my channel to continue to go and grow. Now today we're going to make these beautiful rustic tags, again made from materials that you may have in your scrap piles. They have a very rustic look to them. And you can see they're made from several different materials, paper flowers, bits of book pages, packing paper, some children's writing papers. And I just changed up the colors and the ribbons a little bit so that you can see. So these are actually kind of like brad flowers, so you can do some things to work on the back there, or when you glue it down, it probably won't matter. But yeah, so today we're going to dive in on how we can put these together. So I'm going to put these aside for a little bit. And the materials that I used, of course. So these are the flowers from the Paper Studio. Don't pay attention to the price. I think they were half off when I picked them up that day. So if you've seen, I've used some of them already for these tags. I'm just going to finish off the rest. And of course, you have your old book pages. I've already torn a piece off. Pieces of ribbon. Right, this is like a organza green, and then we've got this kind of wavy pink. I don't remember what they call them, but these are the two pieces of ribbon I'm going to use. I'm going to cut a piece from a regular 8.5 by 11. This is 110-pound cream cardstock. You can use any color, doesn't matter. And this is the handwriting tablet I told you about. I picked this up at Goodwill. It's pretty old. The pages are kind of brittle, so Goodwill is a good source, it's a good resource to pick up stuff, your scrapbook making or your journal making. And the things are cheap. This was like 79 cents. And this is just regular packing paper. So I'm actually going to go ahead and tear a piece off of this now. So I'm upcycling as well as reusing what I've got. And we're going to dive ahead and get this on the road. Let me put this down here. Okay, let me put these aside. So actually I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to leave one out as usual so you can see where we're going. And this tag size is about 3 inches. So if you see here, I've got the 3-inch mark. And that was 3 inches across. Line up everything, cut it down. And it was just like 4 1/4 maybe. And that's if you're paying attention to measurements. Of course, it's up to you. And how big you want to do it. So this is gonna be our base, and then like I said, I just cut the scrap piece off for here. It's a little big, so we're gonna go ahead and tear it down a little. And again, this is just to give a contrast with the cream, and just to give it a rough and rugged, rustic look. I'm gonna rip the edges. All right, so I think put maybe to an angle. I think that should do. Maybe just take it down a little. I think we've got that. And then I do have the book page, which I'm going to put this on the other side, or maybe this way. And it is a bit long, so I'm going to go ahead and rip that here. I don't like the sharp pointed edges. I'm going to nip those off. So it doesn't matter which angle you put it at, just get it on there. And I'm going to rip a page out from here. And we're going to use it for other projects, so don't worry, but I have to be so careful. Like I said, it's a little brittle for what I guess is old. It doesn't say what year it was published. This one here, I'm actually going to use the scissors on that one. I can put my hand on it. And just simply cut along the lines. Keep it simple. I'm going to cut this one a little bit outside. And then we're just going to go across. So this is going to go for something else, some other project that I'll make. So I'm going to go ahead and tidy up this. Okay. I like to put it together first before I start gluing stuff down. So we got this here so far. This comes across. I'm actually going to take out the tail. Just cut it up the middle. And then across. And that's one way to get that little ribbon tail going. So we've got this here so far, it looks like. This comes down here. And let's go ahead and get the ribbon out. I'm going to use the big one. Like I said, these are actually brads, they look like. So you're going to have to find a way to secure the back. Or when you glue it onto your project, it probably won't matter. And just be careful it doesn't fall apart. So I'm going to put that back in. Get that down. And I think that's going to go right up there. And of course I've got my ribbon here to put on. So the ribbon is just below here. And then the other one will come down here. Alright, so let's put it together. So we're going to go ahead and apply this Tim Holtz Vintage Photo Distress ink to the edges. And I think it looks as though I rubbed a little bit on top as well. I'm going to get my little sponge out here. Which is just the makeup sponge I'm using. And we're going to get the edges. Probably should cut it first, right? Save on my ink. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to create that edge at the top there. Like I guess, once you have the one side, hold on to it. Flip it over to that edge there. And you've probably seen me do this a few times already. Make sure it's flush. Hold it firmly. And then get in there. So that way you have the same measurement on each side. And then we're going to continue just going ahead and distressing. And I'm going to just rub a little bit in here. Alright. I think that's enough for that. It looks as though we also have to distress our book page, of course. Get those edges in there. And just dab it a little bit, not much. So we've got that. So those are the two pieces that we distressed. So we're going to put this away. I do like to get this residue up. Probably need a new sponge. So we've got these two so far. So I'm going to go ahead and just start gluing stuff down. Gluing this piece down, it looks like. So we're going to get our little glue out here. And just apply a little. I'm just going to stick it at an angle just to create interest, visual interest. Still got to clip a piece off. I don't necessarily want it hanging over this time. And again, this is just regular old packing paper that comes in all those boxes that we order stuff in. And I'm going to stick this maybe at an angle like so. And again, these go great if you're making a rustic journal, you know, one of those vintage journals. This will work great for something like that. And it doesn't cost you much. So I'm going to stick this at a slight angle like that. And then we're going to go ahead and put the organza ribbon down. Just not quite halfway. As you can see here. So I'm going to go ahead, actually I'm going to use just a bead of glue. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to let that dry. And let that dry. While that is drying, let's go ahead and set this up here. And again, just using getting the glue on there. I may have to trim this ribbon a little bit. Yep. Just to break up all that brown a little bit, that little rustic color. And it looks as though this is just hanging on. So I did punch a hole to put that on. So we're going to have this at an angle, and we're just going to go through. So I'm going to put it like that. And then we're just going to punch a hole and go right through everything. So I'm going to actually go through the ribbon, if you can see that, because I want that to stay intact. All right. Now we're going to use the flower to secure and anchor them all. And there's that brad in the flower again. And I've got glue everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and get that through there. Bring it to the back. Secure it down. And again, you can cover this with something, or when you glue it onto your project, it won't matter. Or, you know, you could paste like coffee paper behind here so they can use it to write. So there are several ways to conceal that if you don't want to see that there. And I've got some rough edges here, so I'm going to go ahead and smooth that down a little. And this is a sponge I picked up at the Dollar Tree, just for $1. It's a sanding sponge. And our final step is to go ahead and trim everything off that we do not want. So I've got my little scissors here. I'm going to raise this up out of the way. So we're going to get the organza. We get it on this side here. I don't want this pink hanging out like this, so I'm going to actually make it a little shorter. I think we've got it. We're going to go ahead and punch. I'm going to use a different size single punch for the top here. Make sure we get the center. Get that in there. And guys, that is it. I'm actually going to use a little bit of sari silk to get it through here. Just to kind of show you how it'll work as a tag. I don't have enough to go that way, so I'm just going to do it like this. But you can always secure just to kind of show you how it'll work. You can tie that off and you'll have that up there. And you know, this is all it took. It doesn't take long at all. If you stay till the end of this video, thank you so much for doing that. And please don't forget to hit the like button and to hit subscribe so that you can have notifications of my videos as they come out. Like I said, these are very good for your journals, junk journals, or your rustic journals, you know, any kind of card project you're making, or to decorate anything, or just as a gift tag. You're giving somebody a gift, throw one of these on and put the greeting in the back. So there are very different ways you can use it. They look expensive, but you can make them at home. And guys, once again, thank you so much for staying till the end and joining. You can find me also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And I will have all the materials listed down below. We're in the description box where you can find them. Shoot me any questions, comments, hearts, anything. Until next time, have a blessed day, and I will see you. Bye.